All right.
I'm just mature.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and join Councilman Ropp in pledge to our country and flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for our prayer, please.
Almighty and gracious God, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude for the countless blessings you've poured into our lives and into our community of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Thank you for the dedicated people who work together to make this a place where all can belong, contribute, and flourish. As we approach the season of Thanksgiving, remind us of the strength found in unity and the beauty of working together for the common good. Inspire us to honor the dignity and worth of every person, celebrating the gifts each brings to our shared life. Open our hearts to compassion and guide us to serve one another with humility, lifting up those who are most in need. We ask for your wisdom for those entrusted with leadership. Grant them the courage to listen, the clarity to seek justice, and the vision to build a healthy and hopeful community. For all we have received, help us to be truly grateful, not just in word, but in the way we live, showing our thanks through acts of love and service. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
That's great.
Very good, as always. I call to order our Guthrie our City Council meeting of Tuesday, November 19th. Second item on the agenda is public comments, community announcements, or recognitions. Do we have any? We have none at this time. Before we get to item number 3, I am going to recuse myself as I have a family member that is attached to one of the action items, and Vice Mayor will take over for the next 2 items on the agenda, please.
What items?
I'll note that the consent agenda is true and correct as it's been published. Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda?
No.
Yes, there are,
All right.
actually. There are 2. Actually, that's why we're doing this.
Okay.
We're gonna remove item number 4, or item D, 3D from the consent agenda. And we probably need to remove item A from the consent agenda. Are there any other items that anybody wants removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items B and C.
So moved.
There's been a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made, seconded, and laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, the members may cast their vote by electronic device.
I'll vote Strand. Oh, you moved.
Good one, Steve.
We should have moved the sign.
You got younger.
Having
Wow.
received a majority of those elected to and constituting the council, the motion passes. Item A, I asked to be removed because I think there was one member that was absent. And were you going to recuse on that? Okay, all right. So is there a motion to approve item A on the consent agenda?
So moved.
There's been a motion made and seconded and or is there a second? I'm sorry. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second, and laid upon the table to approve item A. Brian, would you record my device, record my vote, please? Thank you.
As a no.
So that it,
I push no. Yeah.
the members can cast their votes by electronic device. Please display the board. The motion carries unanimously, having received the majority of those appointed or elected to and constituting the council. Item D was removed. This is the one, I believe that the assignment of the hangar lease from hangar number site 11 from Michael Ross Cocky to the Kinzer family, and that was the one that the mayor asked to be removed and discussed. It is, I believe, his son-in-law. Is there a motion, or is there any discussion on the item? If not, is there a motion to approve consent agenda item D?
So moved.
There's been a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made, second, and laid upon the table to approve consent agenda item number 3. The members may cast their vote by electronic device. Thank you. Please display the board. Having received a majority of those elected to and constituting the council, the motion carries. I will now relinquish the chair
Back to the older Steve.
Right.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Geary. Are we down to item number 5? Agenda item 5?
We are,
Okay,
yes.
agenda item number 5 is the 2025 calendar year schedule of regular meetings. City Manager.
Yes, Mayor and Council, attached in your packet as per Title 25 OS Section 311-1, all public bodies shall give notice in writing by December 15th of each year showing the date, time, and place of the regularly scheduled meetings. The calendar of meetings for all boards and commissions is in your packet, and staff recommends approval. There's no changes to anything.
So moved.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Submit your votes, please. Let's see the votes. Unanimous approval to approve the calendar year 2025 schedule of regular meetings as submitted. Item number 6, appointment to the Guthrie Planning Commission. Dan, do you want to
Sure.
introduce that one?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have currently 3 positions open on the Planning Commission. We have recently received 2 applications, one from Phil Nichols and one from Zach Robbins. They would be filling unexpired terms through March of 2026. All 3 of our vacancies have been due to resignations for different reasons in that. So again, there's 2 applicants for two of the 3 positions that are open.
Okay.
How did
Entertain a motion.
you get Phil to be on a commission?
You have to ask the mayor.
I thought that would be like,
No. Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Submit your votes, please.
I'll vote Strand.
See the votes. Unanimous approval to appoint Mr. Nichols, Mr. Robbins to the Guthrie Planning Commission, unexpired terms through March 31st of 2026. Item number 7, Residential Neighborhood Enhancement Waiver Program. Ooh,
I know, exciting.
yeah.
Thank you,
5
Mayor.
minutes, Dan.
What?
5 minutes.
We've talked about
Yeah.
that. I
Mayor-
preempted that for you.
Yeah, Mayor, City Council, as was stated, one of the programs I came up with is I'm always looking for ways to try to do more with less, so to speak, given our budgetary constraints, but also to help improve the community. This program would basically help, as I have explained to people, on the front end or the back end. At the front end, before anybody would go through a process, if they have a dilapidated structure and they want to tear it down but maybe don't have the financial means to do so, we can offer them a discount where we go in half and half. City pays half, the property owner pays half, and we get a structure that is a dilapidated or a nuisance abated. And then more importantly, we don't have a further encumbrance on the property, because at that point, no lien would be put on the property. It would also work kind of on the back end where we have a number of existing lots that have anywhere from probably $4,000 to $8,000 worth of abatements on it. And it makes it difficult when somebody wants to buy a property that's maybe worth $13,000, but they have to pay $20,000 given the abatements. So it would work the same way where if they're willing to buy the property, build a home, within a certain time frame, we'll say, hey, we'll help you out. We'll basically erase half of those abatement costs, and you can move forward and build a home on it. On the front end of it, if they don't, for some reason, follow through after we have the contractor and that, we would end up paying the whole thing and then putting the lien on the property. So again, there would still be a way to make sure that our money is, if you want to say, well spent. On the back end, it would be the same thing. If the conditions would be they would have to build a home or get a building permit within 6 months of paying it off and get their first building inspection. If they don't, then they would have to pay our share back, and if they don't end up paying it back, we would put it as a lien on the property. So again, there's some stipulations to ensure that we're not just paying it off so they can sell it and make more money. So that's the gist of what it's doing. From a budgetary standpoint, it would help us to where, again, if we get some of these that we pay half. For instance, if we had 3 homes that we were gonna have to tear down ourselves that came to $18,000. If we got this program in place, we could look at spending basically half of that. So then it would obviously keep that other half in our budget to do other abatements and that. So it also would hopefully allow us to do more with less and not have to continually increase our budget. And that was, real quick, that was kind of the premise behind it, because our costs have almost doubled to tear down homes. Wasn't long ago we could do it for $3,000 to $4,000. Now we're averaging close to $6,000, and some of the bigger ones up to $10,000.
So, quick question.
Yes.
On the homes that we've abated over the years.
Yes.
And the city and the homeowner didn't do it, or the
Yep.
property owner didn't do it, and the city went in and did it. Have you collected those, do you have a thumbnail of what you've collected on those monies that the city has spent to abate?
Not entirely. I can tell you that, and I won't go into it tonight because it's a long thing, and our city attorney knows this, but when a lot of those end up going to tax sale, we do not get the full value back out of that. We get maybe half if we're lucky, maybe less than that. And it's one of those things with the county and the state law and those type of things. But so a lot of times we don't get all of it back, but we have a number of properties that, yeah, we probably abated 8-10 years ago and still haven't seen any turnover in ownership in that. And I can tell you that some of my recent experiences, there have been people that have looked at buying those properties, and it ran into this exact scenario where they have a $6,000-7,000 lien on a $13,000 valued property. Most average people are not going to do that. Some of the larger builders or people that have capital may buy it, but they're going to pass that on to the consumer. It's going to make the house cost more in that. So this was obviously done to kind of do both, where we could hopefully get some abatements throughout the year, because they would be waiving their due process, so to speak, so we could do this any time of the year. We wouldn't have to wait till our annual program.
So I guess the question I need to ask then is that when, on the homes that we abated and we've demolished.
Yep.
And they went to tax sale, they went to sale, okay, we get what? What's the percentage we average getting back? Are we getting 10%, we getting 50%?
50% at best.
Okay,
I would
so-
say more, probably 20 to 30%.
Okay, so in this scenario, it gets us half back at least.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to
no,
get.
yeah, equating it, yes. And I can tell you too that, even if we send these through the process, I guarantee you with staff time from the planning department to the finance department, we expend way more than, 50% of that cost getting there. So again, we can take care of this at the front end and save a lot of time and staff time as well.
If the
Money and
property
stuff.
owner's
Yeah,
willing to
if
do
they're
it.
willing to, yes, correct.
So if the property owner's not paying those taxes, they're not probably paying any kind of taxes, are they?
Not if they go to tax
Why
sale,
can we not
correct.
just go in and take the property? Is it because the county gets first shot or what?
Well, we don't have a program or an ability to obtain property right now. I mean, I would love it, but,
So, but we're putting a lien on it.
yeah, we're putting a lien on it, yeah. But we basically don't have a program to where we could go after it to actually obtain the property.
So we're getting a part of the sale price back
Yes.
to cover the
Right.
lien.
Yes.
If not the entire lien.
Yeah.
So we're getting money back, but not necessarily, not the property.
Obviously, the small abatement liens, like from grass and all that, we get those back in full. It's the large ones where we've demolished a home. Yeah.
And that's only if, just for clarification, the only time we recoup the entirety of that fee is if the property sells for the back taxes
Yep.
plus the
Exactly.
lien
Yes.
Yeah.
amount. So I think 50% is more than generous.
Oh, it
I would
probably
say
is.
we're probably closer to 30%.
30%,
If you're lucky.
Yep.
Kim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, I think everybody at this table, whenever we have a property owner whose house is on the list, if you will, and they come in and they implore us to give them an opportunity, all of us want to give them that opportunity. We just want to have some assurance that there's movement, that they are getting the permits, that they're making a good faith effort to bring it back. We want that to happen. This is another opportunity to incentivize that happening. Have you seen it working in other places, Dan?
The forms I used, I got a template from actually Muskogee. The planner and I from Muskogee talked one time, and that's where I got the templates essentially for the waivers. And so obviously I tailored it more to ours, especially again on the back end. But it was interesting because when I was talking to him, I said, yeah, we do about 10 a month, and he goes, or 10 a year. He goes, I do 10 a month, so he does like 100 a year in that. But that's obviously a bigger city with bigger resources and that. But even recently, I talked with a planner. I was at one of the ULI events, and the Shawnee planner, and they have actually a program that's set aside where they have money. I forget how much they have. I think $100,000 or whatever, where the city go out and actually pay off the liens on properties to make them more conducive for redevelopment. But obviously, we don't have that ability, you know, from a financial standpoint. So that's why, I was looking at this program where it was, again, it's not going to have a major impact on the yearly budget, but we can still provide some of those incentives and that other cities are providing.
So if I have a property that you're abating and the fee for it is $6,000,
Yeah.
let's say, and I agree to this, then I'm gonna owe the city $3,000 at the end of the day because you're gonna
Yes.
use your people to come and
Yes.
and demolish.
Yes. Actually, the way it'll work is the property owner will be responsible for basically getting the contractor and everything. We're just paying $3,000, so we're gonna pay half of it directly to the contractor. So the applicant's gonna pay $3,000, we're gonna pay $3,000, because it still takes care of a lot more paperwork if we do it otherwise.
Question. So that amount's based on the agreement between the property owner and their contractor as to what the total cost of
Yep.
it would be.
Yep.
And therefore, if it's Joe and Bob's tear down service, or what, demolition company, there will be a limit of time.
Yes, because because any case, they still have to get a demo permit, and so there obviously would be that permit, and then we do an inspection after every demo, even if we, we're the ones that tear it down to make sure that the sewer's capped, the property's level and all that, so there'll definitely be a follow-through and a follow-up to make sure it gets all done.
What's your procedure for inflated demo pricing?
I don't know if I can say I can determine that. We get 3 bids, like for,
But you're letting the landowner bring the contractor to the table, right?
Yeah, but that's also kind of why, if you look at the program, it's somewhat tiered to where at a certain price, we're only doing 40%, and then at a higher price, we're only doing 30%. So basically, the cost to the city stays about the same. So even if a contractor comes in and says, it's gonna cost me 12 grand, we're still only putting about 3 grand into it. 3 or 4 grand.
And just because we're allowing this as an opportunity doesn't mean that it's going to be the only method.
No, absolutely.
You're still going to have a presentation with dilapidated
Yep.
structures each year. And when we're evaluating these, if we feel like a quote is out of line with what we've been paying, we know that the average cost is $6,000 to $7,000. Somebody comes in with a $10,000 quote on a demo on a small house, then we know that that's not in line with what we could do it for.
Right.
So then we go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what's our next step?
What I was looking for.
Oh, yeah, because even if a property owner comes in, we'll even tell them too, look, I think you're probably getting not a great deal. You may want to look at some other options, because we even see that if they're hiring a surveyor or others. So we encourage them to go and, try to find a few others to bid on it.
So this tiered approach, in a way, is incentivizing the property owner to find a good demo contractor that will
Yeah.
do it for a good
Yeah.
price.
Yeah,
Because,
absolutely.
the lower the price,
Yep.
the more the city's gonna end up
Yep.
covering.
Yes.
Well, it certainly appears on surface to be a win-win-win.
I think so.
And obviously, history will tell if we approve it. history will tell us. That's what I was asking you. Muskogee's experience has been positive, I assume.
Yeah, because, again, just to go back, every city, as we know, is dealing with, housing issues and looking at ways to try to get more housing but keep it affordable. So there's many communities that are looking at similar type programs like this that are going to make, again, whether it's paying off abatements, whether it's, helping in other ways. Because even when I was at the interim study at the Capitol, this issue came up, and I had spoke about it, saying yes, it's an issue that we see, especially with smaller communities, because the smaller communities don't have the resources to go and basically pay these off, like I was saying that the other Shawnee can do in that. So, especially smaller communities, we have to look at these type of options to still kind of provide those incentives and abilities to get housing.
We're still referring to properties in the past that are sitting with a lien on them presently.
Yes.
And a contractor can come and say, I want to build a house on there, make a deal with the landowner, and the city and still will reduce 50% of the lien we have against it. As long as there's a permit to build.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good idea.
Thanks.
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any other last minute questions?
Dan, I just want to say thank you for finding creative solutions to these issues. I appreciate that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Submit your votes, please.
Elbow Strand.
Let's see the votes. Unanimous approval then to move forward
Thank you.
with the Residential Neighborhood Enhancement Waiver Program.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. Hope it works. Item number 8, appointment to the Guthrie Parks and Urban Forestry Board. This is recommendation for Eric Riddle to be on the Guthrie Parks Board for a 2-year term through June 1st of 2026.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Submit your votes.
Elbow Strand.
Let's see the votes. Unanimous approval then to approve Mr. Riddle to be on the Guthrie Parks and Urban Forestry Board. Item number 9, City Manager Report. Eddie.
Yes, Mayor and Council, we are coming up on the busy season. I say that like the busy season never, starts or stops. As you know, we have a festival for every season. Well, we've all said we have a festival for every weekend, and that is very true. You drive through town, you can see it, you can feel it. Want to start off tonight with saying congratulations to 2 police officers, Officer Swash and Self, both of which have just graduated from the academy and are joining the police force. So we look forward to having them on full-time, and congratulations to Chief Swagger having a couple of new hands. It'll be good to have them here. I want to also say congratulations to paramedics Jake Logan and Jarrett Maines. That is a big accomplishment to achieve their paramedics certification. So look forward to having those guys taking that next step. So everybody's growing. We're all moving forward. You should have received an email from me on the Thanksgiving holiday appreciation luncheon Friday, this Friday. Staff will be attending that at 11:30 a.m. out at Public Works. So all offices minus emergency services will be closed that afternoon for that event. So hope you can join us. Please let me know if so. The first, we'll call it the inaugural event at the temple. The legendary Gatlin Brothers will be here for the inaugural Christmas concert at the temple. So we look forward to having that on Friday, November 29th. Should be a good time. If you need ticket information, there's information out there. Find it on the city's webpage, as well as Gary Good's promotional material as well. So, and then also coming up, of course, the territorial Christmas events, the Victorian Walks, the Lighted Parade, the Christmas Cruise, Very Merry Guthrie Christmas, the Distinctive Home Tour, the Santa Fly-In at the airport, the Wreaths Across America event at Summit View, and half of those events all take place on Saturday, December 14th. So we do have a lot going on. For a full list of all of the events that we keep up with, you can go to GuthrieOK.com. or, of course, follow us on social media for the update. In observance of Thanksgiving, City Hall and all city offices will be closed on Thursday, November 28th, and Friday, November 29th. We'll be back in office on Monday, December 2nd. So with that, Mayor, I give it back to you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for that information. Item number 10, comments, requests for members of the City Council. Vice Mayor Guthrie.
As the city manager noted, we'll be having the annual Santa fly-in. We are currently looking for a Santa, so if anybody knows a Santa, we would appreciate that. The Santa from last year apparently didn't like my flying, so he has refused to come
Is it gonna be
back.
in the open plane?
Because you're
You
upside
know,
down? Is
I
that why?
know.
Don't do the
no.
barrel rolls this time.
I'm not sure why. Chief, you can grow that beard out a little longer. Why are you shaking your head no?
Oh, the fly. He'll be the Santa Claus. He just.
So if anybody knows of a Santa, I would appreciate it.
Tracy?
I know.
I was just saying that. I just,
The naughty kids.
That was pretty quick. Pretty quick.
That's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Councilwoman Mills.
Yeah, just want to say I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving with family and friends.
Councilman Bothroyd.
Staff obviously does a great job. Dan, you're doing good on that, and we'll see you Thursday night. That's it.
Councilman Robb.
Yeah, everyone just have a happy Thanksgiving. At the Depot, December 7th, we are having another tea. Again, I'd like to reiterate, a tea is not just a bunch of elderly people drinking hot drinks. I know that's that enters your mind, but Chief, it'd be a great date night. It's catered in addition to the tea, live music, okay? We have all of our historical items of things that we found in the walls of the Depot that are out, things of that nature. So it'd be a good date night, Dan, and everyone should come out. But other than that, thank you.
Councilman Taylor.
I'm gonna start laughing. Chief, congrats on the two new recruits coming on board. That'd be great. And same thing with the fire department, two guys there as well. So that's helping us all out. Staff, thank you. Dan, I think it was great. You held it under 5 minutes. I was really impressed. Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate you as well. That's it,
Councilman
Mayor.
Williams.
I am intrigued about this abatement help, or permit, or lien help. I think it's a great idea. I can see really positive results from that, and putting some of those properties back into use, so good job.
Okay. As part of my usual comments, we're still looking for some individuals to be actively engaged in our boards and commissions. We filled some today. We still have more to fill. We have the Board of Adjustment. We have 3 positions actually there. Library still has 1. Historical Preservation Commission has 1. Planning still has 1, although we filled 2. And Guthrie Housing Authority. So if you are interested at all in getting more engaged in your community, in the direction your community and the strategic initiatives and activities, please go to the city website, look at these various boards and commissions, and pick up a form, apply. We'd be glad to have you be a part of a more significant part of Team Guthrie. So please do that. We have General Daniel's dinner coming up on Thanksgiving. I think we have somebody representing actually General Daniel's dinner historically. Ms. Nephews, did you want to say a few words?
I sure would. Thank you for recognizing me. And look here, I didn't think I would be doing this for 27 years, but it's going to be held on the Thanksgiving Day, the 27th of, this is the 27th annual Thanksgiving feast. It'll be at the American Legion, 123 North 1st Street. It starts from 11:30 to 1, or until all our guests are fed. And we want y'all to come. We have a lot of volunteers. The caterer has come in and said they're going to do what they need to do And we're getting our announcements out, and so now we want the community to know that you're invited. So y'all come. Questions to me?
And you're obviously looking or in need of
All
volunteers?
volunteers, I tell you what, our volunteers are so wonderful. We don't have to ask too many, they just come. And then they call me and say, can I volunteer? I said, you sure can. So y'all come. Do what you know to do.
Okay, this is on Thanksgiving Day.
Thanksgiving Day.
It is free.
It's free.
To anybody that would like to come.
Anybody.
And I believe are you not also taking dinners out?
Oh, yeah.
Delivering
Oh, yeah.
dinners too?
Yeah, if you know someone that can't get out and they want us to deliver dinner, all we need is their name and their phone number and their address so that we can get it to them.
Okay,
People are calling us right now saying, I want my dinner. I want my dinner. Are you going to do it? And I said, yes, we are.
very good.
So we're on.
Well, this is a part of,
27 years, y'all.
it's a part of Guthrie tradition, a great tradition, a wonderful setting at the American Legion, wonderful food, great opportunity to serve others, as well as camaraderie with fellow citizens of this great city.
You're correct. He's been
Okay.
trained well.
One question, Mayor. What
Yes.
time would the volunteers show up that
10:30.
morning?
I want my volunteers there at 10:30. 10:30.
Okay.
We'll suit you up.
Okay? And last city council meeting, we passed a resolution which continued the standard process and timelines for filling city vacancies, city council vacancies, councilman and mayor. And it has prompted a number of questions. I don't know if any of you have, but I've had a number of individuals coming and asking me with some questions. And one of the questions was, what does the city council really accomplish? And I said, do you have an hour or two? After the 2 or 3 did that, I thought, you know what? I just sat down and just jotted down a few things just in about an hour before the council meeting today, and things that the city council and the city administration, and let me just say, Team Guthrie, because it isn't one person, it isn't one group, it is all of us together as one team. But just some of the things that we have accomplished, and I'll just start off with, Dan, one of the things you talked about, the dilapidated buildings. So, 10 a year, approximately 10 a year, dilapidated that come before this council and we're engaged with. New basketball courts, new tennis courts that we've been engaged with. Splash pads, and a new opportunity for enhancing our water supply with what we have done with Cottonwood Creek. People that we are engaged with these kinds of things, the trails throughout our community. Why are there approximately 800 new rooftops that have been approved by us, developers seeing what's here in Guthrie? And we've all been a part of that. Again, not just one person, not just one council, but council, administration, staff, community organizations. Disc golf, sidewalk renovations, replacement. We have replaced water lines and valves. Now, we got some to do, but we have been making some headway in that. Fleet replacements in the police department, in the police vehicles, fire department, and the ambulances and other, and our public works. We have established a process through our CIP program to fund these kinds of things. It makes a difference, and we all make a difference, again, not individually, but collectively. And so, when somebody's asked, well, what do you do, what have you done, that's just a small snapshot of what we have done. And I'll tell you what, folks, I'm damn proud of it. I'm damn proud to be a part of your team that has made this happen. People ask me, you know, are you thinking about running again? Well, I ran for the first time in 2015, so that was about 10 years ago, and have just been blessed with this opportunity to be a part of Team Guthrie. My plan is to serve Guthrie for many, many more years. It will just not be as your mayor. I will not be applying to continue on as a mayor for the next term. But I am so pleased and happy of what we have done, what we collectively have done. And I know that will continue. I guess that's all I've got to say. Have a great Thanksgiving for everybody. And with that, we are adjourned from this meeting. However, I will open our Public Works Authority meeting of November 19th. Second item on the agenda is consent agenda. We only have one, which is really unusual. Approval of Public Works Authority minutes of November 5th. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent
Mr.
agenda.
Chairman, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second, motion and a second. Any comments or questions? Submit your votes, please.
All votes right.
Let's see your votes. Unanimous approval to approve the consent agenda. Item number 3, items removed from consent agenda. There were none. Items number 4 is the 2025 calendar year schedule of regular meetings. We've already covered that in the previous meetings. They are as, there are no changes. I will
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the 2025 calendar year schedule of regular meetings. for
Is there a second?
Guthrie Public Works Authority.
Second.
And we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Submit your votes, please.
All votes right.
Let's see the votes. Unanimous approval of the 2025 calendar year schedule of regular meetings as submitted. That being the last item on our agenda, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost in record time done. Thank you very much.